Google just made their most powerful AI completely free. Not a trial, not a limited version. The full thing, the same AI that costs other companies millions to build. 2 billion people can now use it without paying a cent. That sounds like a gift. But Google doesn't give gifts, they make deals. And if you're not paying for the product, you probably know how that sentence ends. So what's the real price here? Here's what happened. In May 2024, Google announced that Gemini, their flagship AI model, would be free for everyone. This is the same technology that powers their search, their email suggestions, their everything. Before this, if you wanted access to top-tier AI, you paid $20 a month for ChatGPT Plus, $20 for Claude Pro. Google looked at that and said, "We'll just give ours away." Why would a company that makes $200 billion a year suddenly go free? The answer isn't charity, it's strategy. To understand Google's move, you need to understand their real business. Google isn't a search company. They're an advertising company that happens to run a search engine. 90% of their revenue, nearly all of it, comes from ads. Search, YouTube, Gmail. They're just the stages. Ads are the show. And those ads work because Google knows what you want, sometimes before you do. Every search you make, every email you write, every video you watch, it all feeds the machine. The more they know, the better they target. The better they target, the more advertisers pay. So what does free AI have to do with advertising? Everything. Here's the thing about AI assistants. They need to know you to help you. When you ask Gemini to plan your vacation, it learns where you want to go. When you ask it to write an email to your boss, it learns about your job. When you ask it for recipe ideas, it learns what you eat. Traditional search gave Google keywords. AI gives them conversations, full context, your hopes, your problems, your private thoughts, typed right into a chat box. That's not just data, that's the most intimate portrait of a human being ever collected. And Google wants billions of these portraits. But wait, doesn't ChatGPT collect data too? Yes, and no. OpenAI charges you $20 a month. That's their business model. They make money from subscriptions, not from selling your attention to advertisers. Google's free version flips that equation. You're not the customer, you're the product. Same as it's always been with free Google services. Your Gmail is free because ads live in your inbox. Your Google Photos are free because the AI learns your face. And now Gemini is free because, well, you can probably finish that sentence. But there's another reason Google went free. And it might be even bigger. Google is scared. For the first time in 20 years, people are searching without Google. They're asking ChatGPT, they're asking Perplexity, they're asking Claude, and every question asked somewhere else is a question Google doesn't see and can't monetize. In early 2024, studies showed that among people who use AI chatbots, Google search usage dropped by over 20%. 20%. That's not a blip. That's an earthquake for a company built on being the first place you go for answers. So Google did what any monopoly does when threatened. They gave it away to keep you locked in. Here's how the lock-in works. When you use Gemini through your Google account, it connects to everything else you already use. Your Gmail, your calendar, your Drive, your photos. That's not a bug. That's the whole point. The AI knows your schedule because it reads your calendar. It knows your files because it searches your Drive. It knows your contacts because it scans your inbox. No other AI can do this, because no other AI owns your entire digital life. Switching from Gemini means leaving behind that convenience, and that's exactly what Google is counting on. But the integration goes even deeper. Gemini now lives inside nearly every Google product. It's in your search results, those AI summaries at the top of the page. That's Gemini. It's in your Gmail, those suggested replies. Gemini. It's in Google Docs summarizing long documents before you even ask. It's in your Android phone answering questions about your photos. You might have been using Gemini for months without knowing it. That's not an accident. The goal isn't just to give you a chatbot. The goal is to make AI invisible, woven so deeply into your daily tools that you couldn't separate it if you tried. And you won't try, because it's free. Now let's talk about what free actually means in practice. The free version of Gemini is powerful, genuinely capable. It can write, summarize, analyze, brainstorm. For most people, most of the time, it's enough. But there are limits. The free tier has usage caps. During busy times, you might hit them. The premium version, Gemini Advanced, gives you more capacity, better models, and priority access. That costs $20 a month. Sound familiar? Google isn't eliminating the paywall. They're just moving it. Free gets you in the door. Advanced keeps you paying once you're hooked. It's the same playbook as every tech subscription. First hits free. There's one more thing Google gets from all this free usage: training data. Every conversation you have with Gemini, unless you opt out, can be used to improve the model. Your questions become examples. Your corrections become lessons. Millions of free users teaching the AI for free. OpenAI does this too, but remember, they're charging you. Google's getting the same benefit while you pay nothing. Or rather, while you pay with something other than money. Your time, your attention, your thoughts, your prompts become their product, and you agreed to it by clicking I accept. But here's where it gets complicated. Here's the honest nuance. Google isn't evil. They're just Google. They've always traded free services for data. Search was free, Gmail was free, Maps was free, and billions of people accepted that deal happily. For most users, Gemini being free is genuinely good news. You get a powerful AI assistant without paying a cent. The trade-off is real, but it's the same trade-off you've been making for 20 years. The question isn't whether Google is collecting data. Of course they are. The question is whether you're okay with that now that the data is conversations instead of keywords. So here's what this actually means for you. If you use Google products, and statistically you probably do, you now have access to a legitimately powerful AI assistant at no extra cost. That's real value. But understand the deal you're making. Google wants Gemini to be the AI layer across your entire digital life. They want you to ask it questions, share your thoughts, run your calendar, manage your emails, because every interaction teaches them more about you. And every bit they learn makes their ads more valuable. This isn't a gift, it's an exchange. You get convenience, they get data. That's always been the deal. The only thing that changed is what they're learning. So use Gemini if you want. It's good, it's free. Just remember, free always has a price. You just don't see it on the receipt.